What is up, everybody? Jaco here today, and I am answering the questions that you have for me in order, if I feel they're necessary to answer. Before I get into this video, please subscribe to my channel as it helps me so much and puts food on my table. Also, you can check out my Patreon in the description below. Donations or pledges start at just $1 a month and help me so much to create videos for you guys. So today's video, as you guys can see by the title, is why did you decide to leave Texas? So let me talk about why I decided to move to Texas and why I ultimately decided to scramble and leave Texas. So I was with my daughter's mother, as you guys probably know if you know me pretty well, and I was living in Florida, and I had a house, but it was three bedrooms, an office, and 2 bathrooms. At that time, the housing market was at its peak. My house that I owned went up almost $100,000. So I was then like on TikTok, and I saw these huge houses, like, you can get this house for this much. Obviously, I fell for that. And so then I started looking at houses, and I realized that I had family about 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from me in Texas. My cousins and my uncle that I was semi-close with when they were younger, and my uncle lived in Florida, and they all lived in Florida. And then when they moved to Texas, we just fell off pretty much. But so I ended up finding a house which ended up being the most expensive house I've ever owned. However, it was the largest house that I ever owned at about 3,500 square feet. It had 4 bedrooms, an office, a loft, and I think 5 bathrooms or 4.5 bathrooms. It was a very nice sized house, and it had things that in Florida usually you don't get unless you buy $1 million house. And what I mean by that is, in my regular areas, I had 11-foot ceilings. In my dining and living room, I had almost 20-foot ceilings. So, and then I also was brand new, and the area was nice, and there was a park a block up the street. So my family, well, my partner and I were just like, hey, look, let's try this out. And at first, so I was trying to sell my house, and eventually there was a deal, and what happened is that person lied and said they didn't need to sell their house to buy my house, and they did, and then somebody backed out of their house, and they kept begging for more time, and this went back and forth so many different times that I told my partner, I was like, look, maybe this just isn't meant to be. And she's like, well, try one more time. And I tried one more time, and it ended up panning out, and we moved to Texas. We drove in 2 separate cars. We drove there in one day. So what happened is my parents, my dad was fully against going, and then eventually was like, okay, I'll go. And I'm not even sure how I persuaded them. I think it was because they sold their house, and originally they were going to get a mobile home in Florida, and something happened that it didn't work out. So they were like, okay, we really don't have anywhere to go, and we can rent in Texas for a lot less than we can rent there, and we want to be near our granddaughter, which was my only child at the time. So I think that's what persuaded them. But as soon as my parents got to Texas, my mom mentally declined, and I never seen her like that. It was so weird. She went from like 150 pounds to like 90 something pounds in a matter of a couple months. She was a zombie. It was very, very scared. So realistically, my parents only stayed, I think, for like 8 or 10 months, and decided to leave even before I left, because they just didn't want to be there anymore. They just didn't like it. It was the biggest thing that my dad didn't like was the weather change. He's like, well, it's 80, 90 degrees in the day, and then it was like 30, 20 at night. And just the fluctuation, he just couldn't stand compared to Florida. So they ended up just leaving, and then getting a apartment where I already signed the contract on a new house with my former partner. And this is when I listed my house because I already had a deal in Florida to go back. So once I knew my parents wanted to go back, it stinks because I tried to be have as much positivity as possible about Texas, but the more I kept looking at things, is the more I was like, I just want to get the hell out of here. And I have a whole list of reasons why I left and sold my house. But the icing on the cake was when there was a situation that happened in my neighborhood where I recorded a video in my car, and then put it on Twitter, and then some neighbor found the video and then posted it and then outed me and doxed me, and a lot of the neighborhood just didn't like me, and I was just like, this is just too much. Like they were trying to claim indecent exposure, and then I had to call the police, and they said they were going to put a squad car in front of my house, and it was too much. I have the story somewhere on my YouTube channel, but it was way too much, and it was blown out of proportion, and I even apologized for it, but I also, like, what I did, and I'm not justifying this, and I never did this again because I'm not trying to destroy wherever I live with situations like this, but I was literally in my car away from a community houses, and I just like record myself with my hand on myself, and that was what I posted to my page, and not what I posted to Twitter. What I posted to Twitter was, oh my god, I just saw a cop and I did this and blah blah blah, and I posted it there. So while millions of people do this, it's not something a dad of 2 kids should do, and that's why I would never do it again, and learn my lesson from it. But again, it was just blown way out of proportion. And this literally, even though I already had my house for sale, I had neighbors coming to me like, oh, don't sell your house because of this, don't sell your house because of this. I'm like, look, I had my house for sale way before this. This just solidified what I'm going to do, because it just proves to me what the people are. So other things is like so many guns, and I don't like to be around guns, and like every single person in Texas carries. There was just so many reasons. One of the biggest things was when I was buying my house, I didn't even pay attention to the tax rate. It was a 3.5% tax rate, which is absolutely insane. So yeah, that was difficult as well. Luckily, I got the only thing that was good about that was the interest rate that I got with the house. I think it was like 2.9 or something like that. It was really, really good. So it's crazy that I was paying less for a 3,500 square foot house than I'm paying now for a 2,000 square foot house, unfortunately. So originally I was gonna buy this house in Florida with my partner. It was $700,000, and the idea was to have my parents move in, I think, or have them. No, because they were getting the apartment, so they were gonna help me, and then I wasn't sure. I think I was eventually gonna have them move in. My daughter's mom was so against my parents moving in, so I don't know if that was gonna work out or not. The intention was to build something on the property, but that was in a HOA, so you're not allowed to do that. So what happened was, so that was a really nice house. I think it was like 3,600 square feet or 3,800. No, I think it was 35. And it was 5 bedrooms, a loft, an office, and like 5 baths. Really, really nice house. And a huge lot, huge driveway, big backyard, ample of space between the neighbors. And when me and my partner decided to split up, that just went out the window, and we each lost $5,000 on that transaction, and obviously didn't get a house. My partner ended up getting a rental in a community that was about 10 minutes from where I was buying, which I had to bribe her by paying her car and phone, and I think car insurance at the time. And I moved into a house, and it was very hard at first, and it took me about a year to meet, the woman I am with now. And obviously I have a son with her, so I'm very happy and content and glad that I moved back. To be honest with you, I think that moving to Texas was one of the reasons why my relationship failed, because my partner didn't have her parents. And even though she said she can just video chat and they could just visit, I don't think that was sufficient enough for her to be happy. And that's one of the reasons why the relationship ultimately failed. But it is what it is. And another reason why I regret it is because I bought that house for like $645, $650, and I sold it for like $605, $610, and I lost all the real estate, all the closing costs, the difference, and whatever money I put into it. So I lost a bunch of money, even though I did make a bunch of money on the house previously. It was a lot. I had to move, obviously. I had kids. I had a kid. I had her kids. I had a lot of stuff. I had 4 dogs. So it was a lot. It was a lot. So that is ultimately why I decided to move back to Florida. I regret moving to Texas. I don't regret moving back to Florida. I'm very, very happy where I'm at, even though I'm from Palm Beach. Right now, I'm not in Palm Beach, but I enjoy where I'm at, and the area that I'm at is very nice and new. I am building a house now that's going to incorporate my parents, because not only, one, I need financial help, but 2, I need help with my kids, because my partner currently wants to work and wants to go to the gym and wants to do things, and my dad right now, is almost 65, so he's going to collect. And then my mom doesn't work, and my mom's really good with my kids, and my daughter loves my dad. So even though me and my parents don't get along like really, really well, I think that they have a good, grandparenting relationship with my grandkids, especially my daughter. So that makes me happy and gives me some relief, because I do love my daughter and my kids with me all the time, but I also need some space to myself and be able to breathe. And especially when you have kids that, like my daughter, she's just not like, hey dad, let's go to the pool today. Hey dad, my daughter's just the type of person that's just play it by ear type of person at this point in her life. Remember, she's 3.5. So that is that. Like I said, the house that I'm building is a lot smaller than the other house that I was planning on building. It's only 3,000 square feet, but it still has 5 bedrooms, a loft, and 4 bathrooms. And my parents are completely in the opposite side of the house of each other. One's in the front downstairs, and one's in the absolute back of the upstairs. And my mom is, kind of subjected to the upstairs, where my dad is secluded in his front area, and that's where he's going to stay unless he's invited. And that's just not a rule that I put on them. It's just what it is, because we have to respect each other's space. That's just what it is. So yes, my parents are financially helping me to a point, and this way later on, when my dad's collecting unemployment and my partner's working and my mom's contributing, hopefully, and at one point when my job is no longer something I'm going to do, I can just get a regular job and be able to contribute to the household. And with all the incomes together, it should be plenty to pay for the house. And hopefully over time, interest rates will go down and I can refinance the house. And this way it'll be even more affordable, because right now it's only going to be about $500 more than the house that I'm at now. So that's not the end of the world, pretty much because of the lower HOAs and everything. That's one of the reasons. But yeah, it's a nice house. It's currently supposed to be done in September, but I still have a plentiful of things that I have to get done in order to get it. And 1 includes selling my house, 2 includes finalizing my taxes, and 3 includes qualifying. So obviously, 1, I have to make sure I qualify before I officially sell my house. And in order to qualify, I need my taxes and all that information, so then I can start working on that process. But we'll see. We will see, and hopefully they can factor in that my parents will be giving me substantial money per month, and that should help out. I don't know if that's considered in a mortgage, where it's like, hey, my parents are contributing to half of the mortgage. It is, even though I don't qualify, is that help me qualify even though I have the 20% down? So we'll see. I might end up having to put down 30%, and I'll have to figure out where I'm going to get that money from. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a lot longer than a lot of people expected. I know it was a simple question of why did you leave Texas, but there's just a whole story to it, and that's why I wanted to tell it to you guys. So Hope you guys take care. I'm sorry about the lighting. It's when I go to the gym, the sun's going up, and this is evidently what I have to deal with. But take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe.